The UN is expected to deliver food and medicine to the Syrian city of Homs in a relief operation agreed between the world body and Damascus. The 8 convoys are due to enter Homs on the second day of a 3-day ceasefire between the Syrian government and the foreign-backed opposition. The UN says its teams have pre-positioned food, medical, and other basic supplies for immediate delivery. On Friday, more than 80 people were evacuated from the city under a deal reached between the Syrian government and the foreign-backed opposition. According to the deal, women, children, and elderly trapped by the fighting were allowed to leave the ancient parts of the central city, also known as Old Homs. Joining us now is our correspondent Mohammed Ali on the line from the Syrian capital, Damascus. Now, Mohammed, tell us about the preparations for the delivery of this aid and how this 3-day ceasefire is holding up.
Well, there were some reports that foreign-backed militants opened gunfire while people were being evacuated yesterday from some parts of the old city of Homs, mainly from Al-Qarabis and Jurat al-Shayah neighborhoods. However, we heard that there was one civilian injured inside before he was evacuated. Up till the moment, the reports confirmed that 83 civilians, the majority of which are women, children, and the elderly, were able to exit those parts of the old city of Homs where foreign-backed militants continue to occupy them. They were able to exit out. Of course, there were some of the medical teams, the Syrian Arab Red Crescent teams, and the UN waiting for them outside near Dik el-Jinn. This is an area on the outskirts of the old city of Homs. They were taken to temporary shelters provided by the Syrian government. Only 83 were out. The number is expected to reach 200 perhaps tomorrow. Today, it is not expected to witness any more people to be evacuated. However, in the agreement between the Syrian government and the United Nations, of course, we know that today it is expected that there will be some medical and food aid delivered to the civilians trapped inside who did not wish to exit. They want to stay inside their homes because some people want to exit their houses. Some of them want to stay in their neighborhoods. So this is how the situation is. But we have to note here that many people on the ground, the Syrians in general, have been asking them on the streets about their opinions regarding such an agreement. Some of them agree with such a step, and some of them oppose delivering aid to inside the areas where foreign-backed militants are present, because this would, of course, at the end of the day, such food aid would reach the militants themselves, who are, at the end of the day, the majority of which are of foreign nationalities. The people believe that those civilians trapped should be evacuated out for their safety, and the militants should be squashed.
Right, and very quickly, if you can, Mohammed, what are the chances of this ceasefire being replicated for other parts of Syria to get aid in and move civilians to safety?
Well, we have to note here to the Syrian government's efforts across the country for bringing more aid to the people trapped in areas witnessing clashes and to evacuate people. Previously, the Syrian government has allowed all the people who wish to leave such areas, for example, Al-Mu'addamiyya, hundreds of people, if not thousands, were allowed out of the area, and they were provided with shelters by the Syrian government. There are areas that foreign-backed militants deny its civilians from leaving.
Okay, that was our correspondent Mohammed Ali, who was reporting from Damascus. We'll try and get him back up for you in our later bulletins to give you more of an insight about what's taking place in Syria.